Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the IEM Season 9 kickoff in Shenzhen, China. My name is Dan Frodean. I'm joined on the cast by Marcin Nimsflewicz, the captain of Cloud9, as well as the chieftain of XiaoSoul, Michael Carmack Blikars.
You're absolutely horrible at Polish names.
Yeah,
Say his surname again.
You totally slaughtered it.
Filipovic.
That was good. That was good. You see,
Filipovic.
You see Blackheads?
Blackheads? Close.
Blihash.
It's Blihash.
Within the ballpark.
Blihash? Blihash.
No,
Yeah.
you're totally trolling me.
It's actually true. He's not trolling.
We're joined on the couch by Marcin Nimsflewicz and Michael Carmack Blikars.
Michał Blihash.
Michał Blihash.
Carmack. We're joined by Carmack, and we have lots of cool action here for IEM Shenzhen. We've got 5 days of action from League of Legends, StarCraft 2, and Hearthstone. We'll primarily be anchoring the Hearthstone, at least with me and Nimsh and the rest of the crew. But we've got lots of plenty of action here for the Intel Extreme Masters Season 9. Carmack, what's it like being back here in China after a year of being away?
It's very hot, and it's I have to say it's very difficult. So if you're tuning in at a strange hour, tuning in, waiting for the show to start, I wholeheartedly apologize for the fact that we started so late. Issues, venue-related, beyond our control. Now, hopefully, everything is resolved. Hopefully, everything is fine and everybody can enjoy the games. But I can't apologize enough to all the people who hopefully didn't have to stay up too long and wait too long for this stream to begin. Now, hopefully, it's all great. And by the way, it's Gnimsh.
It's not Gnimsh.
By the way,
silent.
We are behind the Great Firewall of China, right?
Yes.
So we kind of like.
So just to give you a general outline of how difficult things are is we've got the firewall of China to fight so that the Twitch stream can run and hopefully you guys can watch it at home. We've got many logistical difficulties. I don't want to, every venue has its own difficulties, but we've had a very short setup time, record-breaking short setup time to make this event happen, to build the stage, set up all the equipment. So that was extremely challenging, probably the most difficult event to set up that I remember. So luckily we're here, luckily we're about to go live. So
it is your 5th time, right?
In China, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
and it's traditionally one of the most difficult events you'll have in the season to pull them off and run them for many reasons.
Yeah. And we have an anime expo here. Oh my god, I'm so excited about it.
There's a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, Nimsh is a big fan of anime and all the Japanese culture stuff related to that, and we've been walking around having lots of fun. The excitement's very real. The Chinese fans are very passionate about esports.
They've been... The stage has been full. All the seats have been full for half an hour.
That's great. That's great. People here are really excited. They want to see all kinds of great action. We're going to go to the stage and get ready for our initial ceremony for IEM Season 9.
Introducing the players will walk up.
That's my bad. I forgot.
Let's talk a little bit about the rules here, because not everybody might be well versed with those.
Sure.
We've got 16 players here. They will play 4 groups of 4. These groups will be played in dual tournament mode in best of 3, followed by playoffs in best of 5 for 8 players, for the top 2 players that go in.
Let's talk about those groups, because in Hearthstone before we played kind of like a round-robin system where in the groups every player plays every player. So I think like players are not familiar with this dual tournament stuff.
Well, actually, before we do that, Nimsh, we should talk about the 2 players that are going to be seeing first here on stream. We have WaningMoon from the Philippines. He's in the blue on your right. And we have XiaoSoul on the left, representing China, one of the 3 seeds from the local tournaments. And WaningMoon's a player that comes from Philippines. He's from the Sea region. A lot of people know about him there, but he's kind of unknown to a lot of the Western scene. But rest assured, he's a really good player. XiaoSoul, I don't know too much about, but he did win one of the qualifiers to get here. And most of China is very competitive. All their tournaments, they have 500, thousands of people entering them. Hearthstone to grab one of these few spots at IEM.
I heard like top streamers, they have actually like 80,000 people watching them. So Hearthstone is
very,
huge
very
in
popular.
China, and those people have like the volume the players, the Chinese players represent is so huge. So they really have to go through all this to be here.
It's still growing. It's hard to believe Hearthstone's only a few months off of the launch back in April, but still, everyone's really excited for next Rammus. The Chinese players are rabid about Hearthstone. There's even the China versus C tournament, which WaningMoon was playing in. 250,000 live concurrent views for the Chinese stream alone. Very, very popular game, and people love Blizzard. They love Hearthstone, and that's why it's really exciting to be here. And I kind of want to follow up on your point. The groups here are pretty competitive. We have 5 people from the Western scene. We have you, Strifecrow, Masan, Amaz, and RDU. WaningMoon is also one of these invited players that people don't know about, but rest assured, he's a really good player.
Yeah, he's a cool guy as well. Like, we were hanging out with him yesterday. We went to the ramen bar, and we talked about strategy and stuff, and he was definitely on a level like joining the discussions, discussing stuff, the deck strategies.
They know.
So,
yeah. They're not far behind. A lot of people don't know about the Asian meta, but they have their own kind of niche tech cards. We'll probably see. We didn't get to see the deck list beforehand, but you guys will see as the upcoming moments. One thing I do want to give a shout out, though, Carmack, we finally have player booths for Hearthstone. So many players complained throughout the previous offline competitions that they didn't have good setup. They might be able to hear a little bit of the commentators, all these kinds of small things, but now we have them actual player booths where they can't hear anything. Very nice touch.
I think the Hearthstone community was really waiting for those booths, like to see players hidden in their soundproof booths. This is pretty good for the game.
Well, nothing I can say about it. It's a pleasure for us to try to deliver the best possible conditions for players, and hopefully, obviously, this is our first tournament. Please don't forget that. So anything that's not perfect for the players, I'm here for the players. Please tell all the players if they have any feedback. How can we make things better for them? I'm completely open to hear the feedback. So,
okay.
And actually, the players have been asked what rules would be okay based on our schedule, based on how we could do things. And the guy over here next to me, Gnimsh, he also, was consulted when it comes to the rules. So. Yeah. We've got an interesting rule set here, I think, for Hearthstone.
One of them you see on your screen, in fact. They're doing bans and picks right now.
Yeah, the veto rule, which is a very cool rule that to like level the best of 3 match. So where normally in a best of 3, like the player who wins has an advantage because then he can, when there is a 1-1, he can take a counter deck to win the series. But with veto rule, like you can actually veto the counter deck, so it's more even and it's more fair to play the best of 3 format.
Right. So what you do is the players were asked to bring 4 classes to IEM. They present the classes to their opponent. Their opponent picks one of them to remove for that series, not from the entire
For best of 3, they have to pick only 3 classes.
Right.
And then the opponent can ban one of the classes you want to play.
Exactly. And then you play out the series for the rest of them. But now there's all of a sudden an extra element of choice that you don't normally used to in tournaments where a lot of classes are just free to pick. And now all of a sudden, do you pick a class that's great against the rest of the field but really weak against one class like a rogue? And then you say, I don't want to play against Miracle Rogue, but this deck will perform? Or do you ban something that's specific to the player? WaningMoon is a really good Druid player. People know that he's a guy who particularly is fond of that class. Do you ban his most comfortable class and try to throw him off guard? These kinds of elements are really cool that introduced with the banning system that Millennium did just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, there's like a lot of strategy and psychology coming into that because you can bring like overall solid decks. Like somebody bans one of your decks, you're still fine. Or you can like bring all those decks that are bad against that one class you want to ban, or as you mentioned, like psychologically ban the class that the player is good with. Like against Amaz, do you ban Priest? Against
I always ban Priest.
Against Moon, do you ban Druid? Or like do you feel like sometimes people just ban the classes that they feel uncomfortable like playing against? Like did you practice like Freeze Mage a lot? If you didn't, maybe it's good to ban Freeze Mage because you don't feel good playing against it.
And at this stage of Hearthstone, as we're on the eve of next Rammus release, at least I hope so. I haven't had too much time to check internet, so I'm not sure.
For next Rammus
I'm not sure if next Rammus is already out, but assuming it's not, people are waiting for it. The meta has kind of been figured out for a while. It's stable, and it comes down a lot to the preparations. Are you playing weird tech choices like Harrison Jones, the big game hunters, the Black Knights? Are you incorporating these, or are you just going for an off-meta like aggro mage or like the mid-range paladins that we've been seeing coming out recently? All these kinds of dynamics are really coming into it. A lot of players are saying maybe it's not so much RNG, but a lot of deck preparation for the events.
I want to know, Gnimsh. Oh, you made me say Gnimsh.
Gotcha.
It's good.
I want to know, Gnimsh, what do you think? Are we going to see anything freaky here this weekend?
So
this week?
Basically, Dan mentioned the metagame is kind of figured out, but on the other hand, we have metagame cycles. So we haven't seen much warrior lately, so people are like not playing a lot of weapon removal. So maybe it's the time for the warrior to actually shine at this tournament. So people can bring something that was not visible in the King of the Hill format before, so they can surprise us. Also, I heard that the Chinese players, they're playing a lot of aggro stuff, so their builds are pretty much different, like a couple of cards different, but it means that it will be different overall. For example, in Miracle Rogue, I heard they're playing still Assassin's Blade, which like European and NA community pretty much dropped.
Right.
And they are playing like Ooze as well because they want to counter this Assassin's Blade that a lot of people play.
Precisely.
So it will be like kind of a clash of cultures with Chinese like an Asian metagame versus the NA and European metagame.
It's an East versus West, where in other games, and I know ESL's been teasing this a lot in some of their press releases, but in a lot of other games, the East has been dominant, whether it's League of Legends, Dota 2, even StarCraft. But for Hearthstone, the West has been pretty dominant every time they matched up. EU versus CN, NA versus CN, the Westerners have come up top. This is the time to see East's best, because we have people from Asia, Japan, Philippines. Hong Kong, Taiwan. We have all these countries represented from Asia and see what they can bring. And all of them bring different elements of the metagame, because even though they're all from Asia, they play on different servers. Some play on NA, some play on Asia, some play on EU.
I heard we will see Naturalize. So
Lots of Naturalize. That's what I was teased too, because the Asians love their Naturalize cards in Druid.
I was really thinking like how good Naturalize is. It might be good.
It's a really powerful tempo card that you can, I think you even pointed out, what if you play Force of Nature and then get rid of that taunt? Like, normally if you have 14 health, at least if you have something like Druid of the Claw, they can't kill you that turn. But if you use that 1 extra mana for a Naturalize, all of a sudden that 14 damage gets sneaked in and you win the game.
Yeah, also like early, if somebody, for example, innovates Yeti and then buffs it, like if you play Naturalize, it's kind of like justified to play it. Even though you give 2 cards to your opponent, you still like got rid of the 3 cards, which is like Yeti, Innovate, and Mark of the Wild.
So the metagame has kind of cycled, like you said, but in the end, I think it really does come to how the players have prepared well. You guys are representing your new teams, Cloud9. Carmack, you're pointing at you want to say something in Nimsh about it.
Yeah, I want to ask him, have you brought anything special?
Well, can't say, I guess. Okay, like I'm
Don't be coy with us.
Okay, so like honestly, I'm known for some surprising decks, like and surprising cards, maybe like ETC and in the finals. But
Sacrificial Pact.
Honestly, I like to play the standard, the top decks that are available. So I might have something surprising, but I'd say that I probably stayed with the standard stuff because we have so good. Like some of the decks are so good right now. Like
a lot of decks have been perfected.
There's a couple of like really big gorillas in the room, let's say, right? It's like Druid is so...
Is that a Polish thing, a gorilla?
Probably, right?
We say elephants in
elephants
America.
In the room. Okay, okay. It might be...
Well, because they're a lot bigger than gorillas, so it's just hard to ignore the elephant.
So it's hard to ignore those guys anyway. Yeah. Like Miracle Rogue, right?
Yeah, that is the biggest elephant.
Druids. Like there's a couple of versions of Druid, but still pretty solid deck.
Nimsh, if you were to get to the finals of the event, because you're assuming you're going to pick yourself, who would you pick to be the most likely player to meet you there in the finals, to go all the way? Just looking at the field of 16, we have you, RDU, StrifeCrow,
If I
Amaz,
say StrifeCrow, am I biased?
No,
I've
not
seen
at
so.
all.
Okay,
why would that be biased? Because you both wear Cloud9?
Maybe, but I honestly, historically, I've seen so many finals
with you versus StrifeCrow.
With me versus StrifeCrow.
Very likely. You don't think Amaz, hot off of his streaks from Millennium Cup and DreamHack, would do well either?
Well...
Or RDU,
he might.
Well played.
Yeah, RDU is on a pretty good streak, as well as Amaz. Like, right now, I think they are ranked like 1st and 2nd in the world. Like, Amaz is 1st, RDU is 2nd, and StrifeCrow is 3rd. Yes.
Yeah, we have the top 3 ranked players here at IEM Season 9 Shenzhen. What about these non-Western players, these Eastern players? Do you know anything about, WaningMoon, or what about Tyson, the Japanese player, the Soul player? Card games are really big in Japan, whether it's Magic the Gathering or other past card games. You can't underestimate these Japanese players who sometimes are very, very good.
Honestly, I don't know much about them, unfortunately, because I love information. I'd love to have information about all those players that I'm playing, but it's hard to follow up the Asian scene. Like, it's hard to follow up on the Japanese scene as well. So it's not like I can just go to the Japanese side and just read about those players. So, like, for example, for NA, I can just venture for the English sites and just see who's good. And like I know all those players, right? But for the Asian, like Philippines, for example, Japan, it's really hard to like find information about those guys.
Do you think it's a big advantage for them to be able to find information about you?
I think so, yeah. I think it's like Hearthstone is a game of information, so if they can just go and check what decks I'm playing, it's a good advantage for them because they know my style, they know what decks I frequently play. And for me, it's like, for example, I didn't know that Moon is a Druid player, so I would never ban Druid for him.
I understand what you're saying. It might be a little bit difficult to read that immediately. You might ban something generic, but you're not playing the player more than you are playing the overall metagame, which is pretty important considering.
Yeah, but playing against players is also important because, for example, if I'm playing against Strifecrow, like players I custom with, and I can use psychology to play against them. Like if I know it's like a slow player that's playing control.
That's right. That's right. The Asian players don't know that you're lucky.
I'm sure they know that.
Maybe. I don't know. That kind of RNG can't be escaped. The game has actually begun, and it is a Chinese client that we're using, but if you don't know, rest assured, we'll be able to walk you through it. Looks like we're going to have a warrior,
and we have a warrior
versus a Miracle Rogue, and it's a warrior that's playing some interesting cards right off the bat. We see a Chowen Yeti. So we've been seeing...
It's not a standard card, yeah.
Yeah, we've been seeing some mid-rangey warriors kind of pop out to create more tempo. Now it's pretty interesting to see how it's going to be able to work out for these players.
Okay, so let's quickly say who's playing what.
That is a really good point. I actually can't read their names. But that's actually a very good point here. The bottom player is a warrior. Oh, man. I would have to assume that the...
We'll figure it out in a second.
Okay, we'll figure it out. So basically, commenting on the hands, like, Warrior's hand is pretty good with...
Okay.
We've got some...
Okay, so apparently we're trying to figure out the screens right now, and the Miracle Rogue player has drawn Van Cleef, and I haven't seen anything else. What's going on now?
I've seen Gadgetson. Okay, so this is Miracle player's hand, and the hand is pretty good.
Yeah, oh my god, he has everything. He's got the preparation, the coin, the conceal, and this is already a great start for the Miracle Rogue player. Cards like the Yeti are supposed to pressure, and you have to spend removal, but even right now, you can go for the conceal play if you desire.
Would you go for like Van Cleef conceal play?
I feel like it's powerful enough because you don't have direct removal of the Yeti, and the sap doesn't really improve your position that much. Although the one thing is that you don't have many spells to combo off. He's drawing 5 minions right now, so he has to start off with the sap next turn.
I think that was a cool play because he has the sap, so he's having Gadgetsan. He will be able to draw a couple of cards. Like he doesn't have the spells, but still he will be able to draw a couple of cards.
What if his opponent has the Brawl? Because there is an Armor Smith on the field, Nimsh. Well, WaningMoon is the warrior player. We've confirmed he is on screen.
He's on screen. He's playing warrior. He was the Druid player. We don't know the bans, right?
We don't know the bans, but at the same time, we can kind of figure this out as we go. WaningMoon is also playing more mid-ranging creatures. He's got Argent Commander in here, too.
Yeah, it's kind of like a different build, right?
It is.
He's more aggro. It's like, it's not even a space warrior. Yeah, it's just a mid-range warrior.
Which is cool. You know, again, these are things that people are tweaking these variations of very common builds to fit more of their style. And it makes sense because one of the things about Warriors is that sometimes it's too slow. How do you expect to get to turn 9 and 10 with Alex Gromash combo?
I think it might be actually good versus Druid. Like, it might be built to counter Druid.
That is true, too.
Because it has like kind of like the same suit of minions, but on the other hand, you have those weapons and armor that you can stack. So it shouldn't be that hard to race.
So now, at this point, as much as it's cool that you got the Gadget Sand, you don't have a lot of spells. You used one preparation, you don't have easy ways like your backstab, and so you need to start off with this sap, but he still needs to draw into something nice. What does he sap here, though, Nimsh?
Well, I think sap the Yeti, attack into a 3/3 if you really want to, and then you can also play SA7. Like, you develop the board, and you just like got tempo, and you got a couple of cards.
He's holding off. He wasn't sure if he wants to probably play another 3-drop instead.
He wants a Farseer. I think like playing SA7 here is better.
I think so too. Yeah. You want to remove all options here from the warrior.
It's kind of like a not Miracle Rogue hand because he has so many minions that he can play it in a bit different way. Like he can develop the board, which is normally not something Miracle Rogue does, right?
Right. They usually, I mean, they develop the board if their opponent's really passive, like a freeze mage of some sort. But in most scenarios, they're trying to just kill off what their opponent has because at its core, people forget that Miracle Rogue is a control deck. You just try to keep eliminating the board, stall for time until you get the combo.
It's kind of like a combo as well. Like
exactly, a combo control deck, which is really unique considering how many spells are in it.
Yeah, but he's kind of totally different than normally. And here, like for a warrior, there's so many options he can do.
I think he wants to try to minimize damage because eventually he realizes his opponent, if he just continues to stave the damage, he's going to run out of ways to kill him in one turn. You just keep stacking your armor. You don't want to use your Fiery War Axe to unnecessarily drop your health.
Yeah.
And then you get out a really intimidating creature like the Yeti.
And the Yeti is pretty cool because it's not easy to get rid of a Yeti. Like the best way will be foulness and eviscerate. But
second conceal. This is a card that we see a lot of Asian players favoring. They like double conceal. Do you have any thoughts on double conceal?
I kind of like double conceal because it allows you to play conceal offensively before even getting Gadgetzan. Like you can play conceal without any worry that you won't be able to get the second one for the second Gadgetzan. So I kind of like it. But on the other hand, like here Warrior has a very strong board. Like one sub was already used, and double Yeti is pretty nice. Like he has Blade Flurry, so he really wants the poison.
Yeah. Oh, the Leroy draw will be important if he wants to finish it off. He's going to start off with a Shiv. He draws the Thalnos.
He's fishing for the poison, I think.
Oh, it is playing Sinister Strikes. That is a lot of damage. Cold Bloods, double conceals, Sinister Strikes, lots of cheap spells.
That's a lot of damage.
But is he going to be able to squeeze it all in? Using this Eviscerate on the 4/5 Yeti might be easier to afford.
Right now he really wants to clear the board. Unless he actually like is aiming for Edwin.
Oh, backstab
is pretty nice.
Does he want to drop that?
So I guess like poison is not a game plan right now because he already started.
Oh, there it is.
He gets it now.
Awesome.
But
Big
he can just attack. It's still good. Do you Cold Blood here? Oh, he's going for the face.
No, Blade Flurry here to finish.
Oh, he still uses Blade Flurry.
And it makes sense.
He will burn the card. Wait, he will actually burn the card? No.
No, I believe he's at 9 cards at the moment.
That's pretty nice.
This is also effective to shave off the armor, so that way, since it is a naked Gadgetzan and he used both conceals, he can't just Shield Slam, which was off the top here for WaningMoon, and he realizes it would have been really efficient. He has to use his Argent Commander here to clear off this Gadgetzan, which is
really
painful.
Nice played. Yeah. Yeah, he can clear the Gadgetzan, but still, like Ro has the full hand.
Yeah, and 2 damage is like nothing for a Miracle Rogue to be able to do. Another backstab, a second SI7 agent.
But on the other hand, he
power.
actually dropped to 17, right? So it's kind of like dangerous here. Oh, Shadow Step is pretty nice.
He does have the Shadow Step, but he can remove the Argent Commander very efficiently with Phantom Knives and Spell Power. It's very alluring.
I would play Azure Drake, I guess. Oh, wait.
You don't have enough mana to fit that in. Oh, you have the Drake and the Phantom Knives. I thought you meant the Thalnos
and Edwin. Yeah, this is pretty nice. Right now his board is kind of good, and he still has Leroy. Like, so he has, how much damage he has potentially in his hand? 15?
A lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. Oh, that was also nice that he played Edwin as a 6/6, so he actually plays around BGH.
That does remove the 7 attack on the creatures, but it's pretty useless to him at the moment. Usually you can combine it with maybe something like a cool Taskmaster to kill off the Van Cleef, but in this scenario, Moon has pretty tough decisions. He doesn't have a clean play.
That Black Knight will be so useless here. I mean, he can play, he can kill.
Not unless he's playing Ascension or something like that.
He might. No, like in this aggressive build, no way. Like with Sinister Strikes and stuff.
No, you have to cut something. Definitely doesn't play a 4-drop. He might even cut one of the Azure Drakes and just have 1 5-drops to have this many spells in. It's very possible. Maybe only 1 Fan of Knives as well.
So on Moonside, he's kind of pretty not exciting right now because like he can't really go for face because he doesn't have a follow-up. He has like 10 damage. Oh, maybe he can actually go for face. But this will be super dangerous.
If he did, he should have been planning it previous turns because he had another opportunity a couple turns ago to equip the Fiery War Axe, and then the next turn he'd be able to follow it up with Argent Commander and charges. But he's chosen a more passive control style play. And now the Miracle Rogue did squeeze in the 6 damage from Van Cleef, and 25 health as the mana keeps increasing to 10 is still very reachable.
What do you think about that play? I actually liked it because trading a 4/3 into Edwin would just leave him with empty board, and now he has a weapon and also a minion.
Yes.
He was able to pay with life because 25 is still like in a safe zone.
Right, but in 2 turns you could die if you're not careful.
Yeah, but you have to take your chances. Like you have to. He has potential 7 damage here. So he's like trying. I'm sure he has cards with first.
But he can't. I don't think he can pick up anything off the top that can just win. directly. So he's still looking at a 2-turn potential lethal if he draws into it. Right now are the tech situational cards that won't be useful in this matchup unless we'll see something otherwise.
Yeah, so here from the rogue side we see the Farseer, which is pretty good. He can clear, and then there's another Farseer as well. So like he can play it super safe.
Yeah, with the Leroy and the Shadow Steps draw, he has 18, 22, 25 damage right there, and he's got he's threatening 6 as well. So by all means, XiaoSoul is threatening lethal, representing lethal what he has in his hand. And this many cards into the deck, you kind of have to assume your opponent has it. Acolyte of Pain, not the what he wanted.
So what do you do? Do you feel like you're in the lethal range right now?
Either way, there's nothing you can do about it, can it? You just have to armor up and just hope for the best. And in this scenario, I think you need a draw for a win condition, so you have to throw down the Acolyte of Pain.
That's why the Miracle Rogue is so powerful. Because like even without Assassin's Blade, you can still deal so much damage. You can heal. The deck is so flexible on the other hand, right?
It is, but it doesn't even matter because he has a lot of damage. Now, interesting enough, you can choose not to show things like Cold Blood. So we'll see what XiaoSoul chooses to reveal, but his opponent knows that he's dead because when the Leroys come out this early in the turn, you know that he is lethal.
That's for sure. That was nicely played, right? Double Auctioneer, double Conceal.
Yep, Cold Blood. He didn't show their Sinister Strikes, though.
That's cool because I think like Cold Blood is more popular. So you keep Sinister Strike as a like surprise effect.
I think so too. Look, we're also joined on the couch at the moment by Amaz. Put on your headset, buddy. There you are.
Hello, Amaz. How are you?
What do you think of that game?
Doing good. I will actually just join because I was watching StrifeCo play.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're actually playing offline.
Oh, they're playing simultaneously.
Yeah,
How's that series going?
I don't know. It looks kind of even. So yeah. It was
Did they start yet? Is that why it looked even?
No. They were at like turn 10 or something.
All right, gotcha. All right, let's welcome to game number 2, a Miracle Rogue pick. Keep in mind, this is best of 3, so WaningMoon already is threatened to be dropping to the lower part of his bracket. It is a dual tournament format. For people who watch WCS and are familiar with it, that's kind of similar to how it is. The top 2 seeds of the double elimination bracket will advance to the top 8, where they play single elimination best of 5.
And we can see Nimsh Inventor.
Nimsh and wait.
Nimsh Inventor.
Nimish Inventor. The
Nomish.
Right.
Nomish. Oh, okay.
I call it the StrifeCo Inventor because
because StrifeCo was the first.
Every deck StrifeCo plays has that.
Yeah,
so.
He loves the card.
Yep.
He just loves to draw cards, right?
No, it's a signature card. I mean, it has 4 health. It's a 4-drop. It draws a card. It's like Azdrake, same health, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Plus
good
1
stats.
It's a pretty good card.
Draws a card. I think that's exactly what he wants. Now, WaningMoon is on the coin, which is a really nice advantage here early game. But as the game progresses, and if you can't utilize the coin that well to improve your position, then the person who ends up going first, who gets like the 8 mana first, can Leroy burst before his opponent.
Yeah, but on the other hand, he doesn't have the Auctioneer, so his hand like looks okay if he gets the Auctioneer. If he doesn't get the Auctioneer, this hand will be pretty pathetic.
Yeah, so there are these like give or takes of the Miracle Mirror, which does have its complications. A lot of people kind of assume Miracle Mirror is just like, oh, herp to derp, I hit you, I draw cards, I get the 18 damage, and I win.
I think it's like
there's a lot more intricacies.
Miracle Mirror is actually pretty interesting because you can go very. I mean, XiaoSoul's hand is very good with like Auctioneer and Conceal. But in this mirror, like you can go, oh, he got a
big pickup.
All right.
He's got the gadget.
This hand improved immensely right now.
Immensely. I think that's the correct word. Yes.
A second Conceal, you know, that's great, again, if you have the opportunity to set up, but he has the gadget and is still kind of a ways of removing it. He has to play something, because I guess he wants to challenge it, otherwise he's taking 3 damage for free back at his face.
I would have just used the Conceal there, I think.
Will you Conceal? Like
I would have used Conceal just by itself and combo the SI and just remove the board, because, I mean, with this many cards, I'm pretty sure that I don't know this name of this person.
Yeah, but that would be a tricky.
Yeah, I'm so bad. But yeah, WaningMoon can definitely remove those. I mean, just Miracle Rogues have like lots of ways to play.
But that would be a tricky play because that's kind of like counterintuitive to play Conceal first.
It is, but I mean, do you really need to play 2 Conceals in a mirror match? I don't think you can ever have a chance.
Oh, you don't have to. I mean, Conceal was a good play, but it was kind of like counterintuitive to play Conceal first and then play SI7 and then kill.
Right. I guess so.
Now WaningMoon, he had a tough decision of using Deadly Poison immediately with something like Eviscerate,
okay.
but now he chose to use his coin instead to put out the Gnomish Inventor. Do you have any opinions on this?
Well, he has preparation, so it's not like the coin is that important. And he has a lot of cards in hand. He has a lot of drawing potential with Azure Drake as well. Like, he can even play Azure Drake on turn 5, which is still fine. So he develops the board, and, well, his opponent doesn't put that much pressure on him. So
yeah, there's nothing on the board.
He still has time.
What I like also is that he does have a Blade Flurry, so if something got really crazy where his opponent was able to do something, then you have the Blade Flurry preparation in combination with the Deadly Poison, so you prepare that ahead of time.
Well, XiaoSoul is like pretty much passive, right?
Yeah, two SI7 drops with no Battle Cry initiative. That feels like it's such a waste of a potential value.
He's banking it all in on the Leroy draw, I think, because he's gonna Auctioneer Conceal next turn, but then he's gonna be really sad, I think.
Do you trade with the 3/3 to save life, or do you feel like you can utilize it and put yourself down to 23?
I think you can stab it. I'm pretty sure. Well, the thing is, there is Blade Flare in hand, right? He doesn't really want to use it.
But I feel like you want to use that for the gadget stand instead.
Yeah.
You can trade. I think you can.
It's a tough decision.
I think you can trade because like there's some AOE, right?
Yeah, there is. Yeah,
right. I think either one isn't wrong. It's just that you have to kind of he has to kind of basically read what his opponent has. He just dropped 2 SI7 agents with nothing.
Exactly.
So it shows that he's probably holding combo pieces in his hand, which means he might threaten a lot of damage, in which case he might not want to lower his health unnecessarily to put himself in lethal range.
Yeah,
that was really smart.
On the other hand, you don't have to really keep that. Oh, you can keep. Oh my god, this is actually good.
This is really good for WaningMoon.
I wanted to say like you don't have to keep the weapon, but on the other hand, he has the Blade Flurry, so he can kill the gadget set.
But he has a Blade Flurry with the spell power.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my goodness.
That is pretty good.
Get ready for a devastation of a lifetime. I kind of want to be able to see his opponent's reaction as well, because this is going to be hitting XiaoSoul really hard.
Yeah. He can also,
he can like gadget stand, prep. Yeah. This is so much. That's so many cards. Oh my god.
That's a lot.
So many cards. Clear the board. Just lock the opposing Miracle Rogue.
He's looking at alternative plays just in case, but I don't see anything better than this one, because his opponent's holding a second Conceal, which will sit dead, especially since he doesn't have like a Van Cleef immediately to back that up.
And with like 2 Eviscerates, WaningMoon is looking at lethal next turn as well.
Ooh, XiaoSoul is not happy. He has to pick up something, a backstab, but he doesn't have any minions. He has to just spend removal here.
He doesn't have
pick up something.
2 Shadow Steps and Conceal and no minions to follow up.
Oh my god.
Sap. What is he going to draw off the Fan of Knives? A preparation.
Oh, jeez.
He can prep the sap.
Wow.
I guess, or just sap for good measure. They both have the same effect, and he has to because he's getting within a range of life where 15 health and 6 on the board means just a Leroy Eviscerate is game over.
Well, on the other hand, like Leroy when with 9 mana, double Shadow Step Leroy and Cold Blood is 22 damage, so 3 more damage.
Does he have lethal right now?
Not quite.
Yeah, he's got 8, 10, so we need to do 5. Yeah, you
not
can't.
Not quite. 7 mana only, yeah. So, I mean, he's looking pretty.
No Shadow Steps, no Leroy.
You can just do anything you want here.
I guess
pretty much develop the board. I think
the
is
board
good.
And pass, yeah.
Sneak in damage. He just also sapped with his last 2 mana on the 4/4 Drake, which shows a sign of desperation as well.
Right, exactly.
It confirms again more combo pieces that he can't use. Maybe Shadow Steps, Cold Bloods.
Do you shiv? I guess you can shiv.
Shiv into like the Leroy or something. I don't know. What is he trying to shiv into?
Well, I
feel like you develop the same thing with the Azure Drake.
Yeah, you can just Azure Drake here.
Okay, Azure Drake is better, I guess.
See what he picks up off of it too. You never know if it's something good.
It seems like he wants to like play SA7s and deal damage, but on the other hand, it's
that
like
is true.
Mana.
How much are you gonna be able to squeeze it in on the 8 mana next turn?
I guess 5 damage with Eviscerate.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Like normally you can keep it so that your opponent is not aware how much life he has left, but here there is like no point in keeping the Eviscerate.
He can actually do anything you want, actually. Yeah.
And on the following turn, he does have the Eviscerate and the Shivs as well too. And the SI7.
Oh, we see concede.
With a Deadly Poison, he can't do anything there. And now the series is tied 1-1. So we're going to have a game number 3 here to decide it all. I'm really curious, though. We didn't get to see whose picks and bans what it is. Let's see what XiaoSoul is going to pick.
They didn't ban Miracle Rogue. That we know for sure.
Well, yes.
No.
That's interesting, because if you don't ban Miracle Rogue, what would you ban? Yeah. Druid, I guess.
My guess is Druid
yeah.
because WaningMoon started off with Warrior, which I know he loves playing Druid, so it almost feels like a natural. So
kind of like a natural ban, right?
Yep.
The ban Druid.
Okay, it's going to be a handlock. And traditionally, Miracle Rogues do struggle against handlock if they get a great start. That's usually an if they get something like the Twilight Drakes and the Mountain Giants.
Right.
Well, no Mountain Giants, no Twilight Drakes here. So the hand, like he got a coin, which is cool as a handlock, but he didn't get a key card. So it's kind of weird. But on the other hand, like this hand is not very good for Miracle Rogue as well. Like what you want to have against handlock is like you want to have Cold Blood, you want to have an early SC7, so that when they drop the Mountain Giant, you can actually kill it. Like you want to kill the first one, that's for sure. You don't want to use sap that early. Yeah,
especially if sometimes the sap is your way to get through the taunts. Assuming your opponent's able to get like Watchers and Twilight Drakes and taunt them up and make your life extremely difficult.
Here we go. Here we go.
I think right off the bat, it's always important to kind of just whittle down the handlock's health a little bit because he's you know he's going to be tapping. So I think hitting with the weapon in there, that response is, or in that situation is good. Because a lot of people kind of debate whether or not you should use the weapon to hit.
Well, there's no natural turn 3 play, so you know, you can just re-dagger anytime he wants.
Oh, he's using Shiv.
Yeah. Interesting.
I wouldn't use Shiv, I guess.
That is true, especially if you have like the Azure.
Well, there's
Drake
nothing to do on turn 4, right? Oh, he got a Mountain Giant. This is
that is a big draw.
That is not. That is pretty good.
That is very good, and he might force the sap if his opponent had it.
Double Deadly.
Double Deadly is really important if he draws a Blade Flurry later. But he's just
on the other hand, does he have a good way to get rid of the Giants?
He
can kill it with backstab and attack
it. But you're still taking the 8 damage.
Right.
Yeah, but it's fine. You get rid of it. Well, this obvious Giants. Like looking at a handlock hand, he has the Shenzhen, which is kind of like a different, like no.
Yeah, it's like a tech card, huh?
People don't play Shenzhen that much, or if they play Shenzhen,
that is interesting.
They cut the Leroy combo, and he still has the Leroy.
Did he replace Twilight Drakes or something like with that?
You can. I mean,
I'm pretty sure you don't. I'm pretty sure things you can replace are like once you can like tech one.
You really would take out the combo. Oh, okay.
You know, stuff like that.
You shouldn't, unless you expect a lot of Shaman.
Because I feel like if you neuter the handlock deck with Leroy, then you lose one of its most powerful win conditions of stalling and going for the late game.
I mean, if you cut Leroy and add more taunts, it's like making some matchups better and some matchups worse. So it's like kind of like a choice you have to make.
It's just it feels like I guess a Warlock's take of Ramp Druid, which you might as well just play Ramp Druid if you want to go for the taunts and the big heavy creatures.
Sure. All right, so he's gonna take 8 damage here.
All right.
And lose the deadly poison as well.
Oh, but he got rid of the Giants, so...
Well, I guess you kind of have to, right?
Sure, because if his opponent has Faceless the next turn, because if you can't deal with 1 Giant, what makes you think he can deal with 2?
Yeah.
And you have to deal with it really early on.
And sometimes there's just no follow-up. But here we can see, like, there is... Well...
Oh.
He can coin this engine as well. And 1 poison is out, so he can assume that there is no poison and, like... Blade Flurry.
Right.
So a pretty good start for XiaoSoul. WaningMoon. He has his Gadget Zan and his Azure Drakes. He can put out the Drake and backstab for 3.
Yeah, I guess like Azure Drake and backstab is a pretty nice play here. Like there's no point in playing Gadget Zan. There is no point.
I mean, you can
Gadget Zan Deadly Poison and then draw.
Yeah.
And you're more efficient as well.
Right.
Well, you will still draw only 1 card.
That's true.
I mean, you can backstab.
And then you're kind of afraid of something like a silence on the Watcher, and then just kills your Gadget Zan for free.
Yeah. I think you play the Azure first, just so that Azure dies first, and then Gadget Zan has like a better chance to live. Yeah. I mean, it dies to Soulfire, it dies to Shadow Flame, it dies to a lot of stuff.
Especially because you can backstab the free.
Right.
Can he see it?
But oh,
he actually didn't see it. I think that was...
I think he wanted to use more of his mana and get the free card off of the Gadget Zan, as opposed to leaving with 1 mana.
That makes sense as well. But I feel still like backstab was a better play because...
Second Shadow Flame. Oh, there's the Watcher, or the activation.
The Watcher activation, yeah. That was right. That was right.
There you go. You didn't let me finish my sentence, Amaz.
No, I'm sorry, my bad.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, it's a pretty good.
I'm talking too much anyways.
I'll take the blame for it.
Oh, he's going for the face.
We've been forgetting how much damage the Miracle Rogue player has been taking. He has Leroy in hand.
Oh, yeah.
And so if he's able to sneak him into 6 and then just finish him off...
Now he has to clear the board.
Right, his opponent has to clear the board. but he leaves a spell-powered creature up, which is so dangerous with Fan of Knives and cards like that.
Unfortunately, it's not in your hand right now, so you
Maybe.
just need to draw a very good card with Backstab.
Backstab into a Blade Flurry.
He needs Blade Flurry.
Yeah, ooh.
Backstab into the Blade Flurry.
He's going for it. And he misses it.
Okay. He can still at least kill off this Watcher.
Okay.
Well, he can still clear the board, but he's getting so low. Like, if there is a Soulfire...
Soulfire or a Power Overwhelming, these end the game. And WaningMoon is pretty aware of it, but he gets a full board clear.
And he can still tap into it. Like, if he doesn't draw it, he can tap to get one of those.
I would definitely tap. Are you joking me?
Absolutely.
And if there is
what is it going to be?
No.
Oh, Twilight Ray? Okay, I think... Do you tap? You have to think, like, do you want to tap?
Oh, I think you tap. Right?
I think it's still tap, because you can tap into a win.
Yes.
He can coin a Siphon Soul if he doesn't get it. Okay,
yeah, exactly.
So he didn't get it, he can coin it to Siphon Soul.
Yeah.
So that's like still good thing. And now he'll be forever like, you know, tapping into win conditions.
He's
but then,
super
of course,
safe right now.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way he will die.
Assuming his opponent doesn't play a Farseer or something like that in order to heal. But he's already played one Farseer, so... Oh, never mind, just kidding. That was the previous game.
Okay.
When you see Miracle Rogue 3 games in a row, sometimes you forget and you lose track.
He can heal so much in here. Like, he can heal 9.
I think you do. It might be tempting to drop the Gnomish Venom to draw more, but I think you kind of want to heal yourself up. You realize you're getting closer, and like your opponent's digging through more of your deck, and you're flirting with lethal.
Oh, wow. Farseer.
Okay. Well, I guess a mix of the two play.
Right.
I think he's considering healing the 4-2 as well.
It makes sense, too, because in the end, you have to kind of dig through your deck to get to your win condition as much as you can stall.
So close, right?
Oh, the heal. So do you tap here for Soulfire?
Well, what do you do as a follow-up?
I mean, you could...
You have no fallback plan, though.
Do you Shadow Flame?
Because right now you can play 2 4s, right? I mean, if you miss with life tap, then...
You don't...
If you just play 2 4s, you might die next turn.
Right, because you might sap the...
It's 9 damage.
Yeah, I think you have the Shadow Flame.
I like the Shadow Flame.
You have to clear.
It's 9. It's 9 plus whatever he would do, like sapping. If you have, Eviscerate preparation, like, you could just die.
Yeah, Rogue has like 6 cards. You always have to assume that there is Leroy plus double Shadow Step.
Let's see what WaningMoon... Oh, it gets the Leroy. So he has 12.
No lethal.
No lethal.
Don't even count.
You have to kind of calculate at this point what you have and ways to kind of whittle your opponent down.
It's kind of like escaping with life.
So maybe play just your 3s and then play 6/6 Van Cleef.
That looks good.
This is a powerful board. I think we'll see a Siphon Soul here. Unless
he draws like a Faceless. Or no, he can't even with that.
No Faceless.
Oh, but that's a good card.
He might use Shadow Flame.
Yeah, Leroy Shadow Flame is pretty nice.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's even better, I guess.
He'll take the damage now?
Might as well.
Okay.
Because he doesn't have a second Shadow or third Shadow Flame, so the power overwhelming Shadow Flame really won't combo.
You know what's funny?
Well,
like, his hand doesn't look that exciting, like the Warlock's hand right now, because he only has a Twilight Drake and Shenzhen. And on the other hand, like Rogue used both Farseers. So I'm sure like he will be using Farseer and Shadow Step here.
And there wasn't a single Soulfire that was played yet.
Yeah.
So do you like Leroy and then Shadow Step and then Blade Flurry or something like that just to use? Or do you feel like you want to wait for the gadget?
No,
I think you wait still because
wait.
you can have like Molten Giants and Sunfury Protector.
The moment you lose your Leroy, it's the game. The game is over, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, you would Shadow Step it back to you. I'm saying, do you want to use your mana more efficiently in case you draw into more damage that you can't fit later on? But
well, what other damage things does he have? Like Eviscerates?
Cold Bloods. But I guess he has so much... He has so much mana and not enough
cards on board.
to make it.
Look at the Rogue situation. He has to clear the board now.
Oh, that's just gross.
It's in really bad shape.
That SI7 draw is not what he needed.
Can he actually like, clear here?
He can sap the Twilight Drake, SI7 the Shenzhen, Shadow Step the SI7 the Agent, and then just do it again and stab it. But that's just like...
That is delaying the inevitable, and you lower yourself to 3 health.
He's so stressed right now. Look at him.
Oh
He's so stressed. Because they always can be the Soulfire, right?
Yeah, you always eat a Soulfire and you die.
You have to assume that Soulfire can be there. This is really tough.
You're like stalling for like...
But you have to stall at this stage. But then you're giving up a Shadow Step, so how do you win from that point on?
You don't.
Assuming he needed to pick up like Gadget's Hand with that preparation. It was now or never.
It came to this point where just because of the 2 Shadow Flames, right? It was 2 board clears.
Yeah.
And just goes to show you the power of Shadow Flames.
Yeah, back-to-back 3-minion wipes. And there was some really powerful stuff there. Azure Drakes, Van Cleef at 6/6.
I like how Handlock was dealing damage and getting the board control at the same time. Because Handlock was pretty aggressive from the beginning.
Right. But it's more of the rogue dealing damage to himself.
Yeah, because killing Giant,
Yeah.
How is WaningMoon going to do this?
Oh.
Why Shenzhen?
Well, the Shenzhen, so that he can attack with the 1 damage, and he's calculating because he has 12. He needs to pick up something like Eviscerate with the Blade Flurry next turn. And then maybe...
Switch, maybe?
No, I actually don't think he's able to do that regardless, because no matter what he picks up, I think he wasn't able to do it.
Still no lethal here.
You can just Siphon here and put Shenzhen. That's the safest play. Why not?
Yeah, that's developing the board and... How do you deal with this? Like,
you need to draw Auctioneer, right? Does he have a second one?
Is there even a way?
It's about time for that. And the Eviscerate did come.
He can kill Shenzhen now.
Yeah.
Attack into it with a weapon.
So like if he had that SI7 and he was able to use Eviscerate with the Blade Flurry and Leroy, was he able to get him down to lethal range or no?
No, I don't think so.
It was like he would have been like 2 damage short, right?
Yeah.
There's no way here.
Okay, he can clear the board here at least.
Yeah, I mean play Leroy, Blade Flurry,
play Leroy
and
into the Twilight Drake, right? Yeah, play Leroy, Eviscerate the Shenzhen, Blade Flurry, smash the Leroy into the Twilight Drake, board clear.
And then just wait for your opponent to tap into
Soulfire. Right? You never know, your opponent might just insta-concede.
Well, he's playing Shenzhen, maybe he got Soulfire, so you have to gamble, right?
Oh yeah. Maybe.
Sure.
Gamble for like fatigue mode.
I just hope that your opponent will life tap to
Yeah, this is so grim. I don't know. This is grim.
He still has Sinister Strikes, so he might be able to like...
Actually, we don't know if he has
to have hope.
We stared at each other for the longest time.
I don't know if he has Sinister Strikes. I think that was XiaoSoul's Miracle Rogue.
Oh, you might be right.
Yeah.
You're right, yeah.
It's so sick, he can't even Shao Step because the Wolves were killed.
Yeah, oh my god, you're totally right. That is devastating.
Okay, well...
Maybe he plays a second copy of Leroy.
Oh. Even... Oh, okay, there it is. There we go.
Hellfire.
Tap.
Wow.
Maximum BM, I like it already.
No, maybe he doesn't want to show the Hellfire. But then he wins the series anyways, so I guess...
Sure, he did end up having to show it. And XiaoSoul starts off IEM Shenzhen with a win over one of the invited players.
Right.
And it starts off strong.
It seems like Strefko just finished his game. Strefko, did you win?
Strefko won 2-0, so XiaoSoul will go on to play Strifecrow in the winner's part of his group.
Right.
And then WaningMoon will play whoever Strifecrow will beat. We didn't get a name of the China Open bracket player, but we'll get that as soon as we can to you.
Okay.
So what do you guys think of the series? Like, was it because we've seen 2 players representing Asian server? So was it that different? It was kind of...
It felt pretty standard. It was, well, not the warrior deck itself, but the concept of Miracle Rogue and how it functions related to every other deck in the metagame. I think it felt.
I think the warrior deck was pretty different, right? The warrior deck was like mid-rangey warrior that we normally don't see. Like, Amos, you haven't seen it, but...
I saw a glance of it. There was Acolyte Pain, and then it was like a face warrior. I saw Acolyte Pain, though.
Argent Commander.
Yeah.
So like kind of mid-rangey deck.
Right.
But it just ran out of steam, I think. At some point.
It's definitely kind of weird. I mean, in that deck, I would play Battle Rage because that's like a good card.
Well, you're constantly trading. You're probably trying to fight for position on the board. These kinds of Temple Warriors actually kind of made a case somewhere in the middle of this season.
Yeah, I think so.
And a few of them like climbed to like top 50 Legend with it. And they play a lot of mid-range creatures. Some people even thought about throwing in like weird removal, like Mortal Strike, so that way you can control the board again.
It kind of reminds me of like the aggro mage I played. Like the deck is good when you get Acolyte of Main early.
Right, sure.
I mean, like you have to get Acolyte early. If you get Acolyte, then you are able to have enough cards to kill your opponent. But if you don't, you really struggle. You just run out
you don't have that draw mechanic inherently to be able to keep up the card advantage or the card count.
Yeah,
for sure.
But if you get Acolyte, it's pretty strong. So that deck possibly, if you get Acolyte, you have like all the big cards that you can play, and you just don't run out of steam.
Yep, so by the way, guys, welcome everyone who's just joining us on the stream or very recently in the middle of the series. This is the IEM Season 9 kickoff in Shenzhen, China for the Hearthstone section. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have more action coming from you at the ESL stream.